Hi guys, and on today's video we'll be reviewing the new Honda Civic Type R, the FK8, with this obnoxious Milltek full race system fitted. So back inside a Civic Type R. Now for those of you who follow the channel, will probably be a little bit surprised to hear this. You might have seen it on Instagram over the time I've posted stuff up. I'm actually a bit of a Type R fanboy. I used to have an EP3. Now I'll put a little video in of that car when I took it to the Alps. It had the Tegra intake on it, it sounded so good. But today we are in a Type R that is turbo, naturally aspirated. Like a lot of the stuff we've been reviewing is long gone. So today we'll see what it's like and how does it compare to my old EP3. So the sound is completely different, obviously because of the Milltek. Now Matt's bought this and the first thing he's done to it is the exhaust. It is so soulless and quiet on the stock system. It just makes absolutely no noise. But now, God, Jesus. I mean, this is a big car. I would probably go as far as to say it's bigger than my E92, which for a hot hatch, it's not quite the case that they're small cars anymore. So you've got a couple of modes as well to choose from. We've got Sport, we've got Comfort, and then we've got the Type R. So let's put it in the Type R. That is quick, really quick. And do you know what's really nice about that, which I wasn't expecting there, is it still screams. It loves to rev. I was expecting to get in it and be a lot like the turbo stuff where you get to sort of 5-6k and you think, it's time to change gear, it's had enough, which like the naturally aspirated stuff's brilliant for. And obviously the gearbox, Honda just got that so right. Even in the old EP3 it was just brilliant, the S2000, and they've still done it with this again, and the handling, it feels tight. It does feel like a big car, like I said, and the exhaust is loud. It is really loud, but it certainly gives it lots of character. So we'll start with the interior first, because obviously as cars have evolved, so has the size, so it's a big spacious place to be inside the car. There's plenty of room for 4 adults. You've got 4 doors, where obviously before most of the hot hatches were 3 doors, so there's no more climbing in and out the back of the car trying to get people in. Seating position is brilliant, spot on perfect height for me, and as you've seen from the other videos when we reviewed the ST, good seating position but probably a smidge high, whereas this feels absolutely perfect for me sat here. So I'm really impressed with the seating position. Steering wheel feels really nice. I'm not so sure on these little red inserts, I'd rather it just all been black, but you can see from the red touches all over the car, it's obviously the theme they were going with. And the seats, God, they're so comfortable, but at the same time really supportive. And the handling, God, look at that. And we're not even on the all-time favourites, the Michelins. So I'll be interested to see how this car changes with a tyre upgrade. I mean, already it feels so committed and so planted. So it's also got this little auto rev feature, like a little auto blip if you can't heel toe, and I'll show you now. So I'm not going to touch the accelerator, I'm just going to change gear and clutch. Sound like a pro, you don't even have to be. I think personally I'd turn it off. I enjoy the engagement, especially with a manual car, but if you're on, say, a track you don't know, or you're literally just trying to progress as quickly as possible, it's a really cool little solution. It's proper jokes. I tell you what is impressive actually, just while we're spinning around in this car park, is they finally sorted the steering lock out. I don't know why, but my EP3 had the worst steering lock. If any of you have seen the Austin Powers clip when he's turning round, it felt like that. The steering lock was absolutely ridiculous, and it wasn't like it was a huge engine in the front, it's just... Oh man, just... the box and the power just... Brilliant. And again, sound like a pro heel toe down the box, but it is the computer that is doing it this time today. Now obviously one of the sad things is you do lose the great induction noise from the N8 days. If you come from an EP3, you're going to miss that. The way the VTEC Cross come over. Now it's sort of, I don't know what to say about that, because it feels like there's a difference in the engine at 5k, like they've tried to replicate it, but as a turbo car you wouldn't expect it that far up, but it does give sort of a touch to the old EP3 that I fell in love with that many years ago. Again, just, Christ, absolutely planted to the road here. You can feel it in the throttle response that it's not like an NA car, and it's not terrible amounts of lag, but it's just not as direct and crisp as the naturally aspirated stuff. Like I said, it is a big car. It feels a big car on the roads today, especially these roads we're on here. So something I guess is a bit controversial with this car is the looks. I mean, it's certainly bold, 20-inch wheels, wings, splitters, everything hanging off it. For me, the exterior is a bit too much. I love the interior, maybe not so much the colours, but the clocks are nice. And like I said, when you switch from the sport mode, you get all the shift lights, you get the harder suspension, you get the sharper throttle response. And then if you do just want to commute to work or use the car after, you know, a long day at work, you can just put it back into comfort and cruise along with no issues or sort of harsh bumpy suspension of the old days where it didn't have the adjustable damping. So the engine is a 2-litre, 320 horsepower is produced, which when you compare it to the days of 200 horsepower, it's a big leap forward in performance. And now obviously the cars have got heavier, they've got bigger, they've got more refined, so they lose that sort of rawness and that driver feel. But with this, I don't feel shortchanged of it. I don't feel that it's dull or numb. It does feel alive. It does make me want to go out and drive it, which is good, because like we've said in the previous stuff, you lose so much of that now where cars are so sound deadening that it's all artificial sounds, especially if you've got something like this race Milltek system on it. It's such a yobbo car. But it does suit the look of it. And as we said earlier in the video, Hondas just know how to make gearboxes, especially at this tier of pricing. Everyone else just seems to lack in that department. Just feels so rewarding to shift. It's the only time I'm happy to say goodbye to sort of DCT, DSG, etc., PDK, is when you've got a box that's just so direct and engaging. So we have a little go now on Mexico. God. Jesus. It's very short geared, really short geared. And you can see there, even with the limited slip differential, it's still struggling to put all that power down. So again, we're not in a hot day, so it is cold out today. It's a little bit damp. I wouldn't say wet, but you're not going to get optimum traction when playing in these conditions in a car like this. Like some sticky tyres in a 20-degree day, this thing would be an absolute monster putting that power down. So you can see why so many do favour these, because even though it is front-wheel drive or wrong-wheel drive, whichever way you look at it, there's no torque steer from this, absolutely nothing. If you watch the McGann video, I was wrestling to keep that car in a straight line. It felt like it was trying to pull into every ditch, and that had the diff. But this, I can honestly say, yeah, like we're on a bit of an off-cambered road, but it doesn't, when it comes on boost, it's not trying to change direction, which is really cool. So the question, would James buy a Civic Type R? To be honest with you, I still have so much love for the EP3. When I see them on the road, that's the Type R I would want in the garage and the collection, cost aside. But yes, I would own one. I think it's brilliant fun. I think you could really enjoy it. And especially, like I say, with the exhaust on it, it gives it a little bit more character. It actually has got a bit of soul to it, because the new stuff now with these Euro emissions is just getting ridiculous. Performance cars that sound hair dryers going along. But yeah, I would own one, and I do really enjoy driving it. I say I'd make some changes myself. I'd probably go back to a 19-inch wheel, because the 20-inch is huge. It doesn't feel like it's compromised on the drive, but that sort of rotating mass and size, bigger wheels just don't make sense. But then again, this car has proven itself around the Nürburgring, until Renault built that trophy that £70,000 is not really a Renault Megane, is it? Let's be honest. This thing was king of the ring for front wheel drive, and you can see why driving it today. It's awesome. So the other thing with the newer shape Type Rs like this is the brakes. They come with proper calipers at last. Long gone are the days of single piston steel stuff, and the feedback, I would say, probably lacks a little bit. Not massively, but the actual stopping power on these, coming down into a hard corner, straight on there, and God, there's plenty of power there. Just love the way it revs. Absolutely planted to the road in this section here. Left. Oh, man. Really nice. Really nice to drive. So with these being around £20,000 up, realistically 20, probably 25, depending on the year and the mileage that you go for, it's a lot of car for the money. I can see why you'd want to get yourself into one of these, because like I say, if you press this little rocker here, everything goes into comfort, everything's soft, throttle response is very linear, seats are comfortable, the steering weight's nice, it's really easy just to drive normally. And then at the same time, 2 clicks up, you can feel the throttle response sharpen, the damping's firmed up, you can feel that, and you're in a proper little blaster. And I say little, it's probably not little, it's like I say borderline F80 M3 big, so it's a big car on the road, but it handles it well. It really does nail along these little roads brilliantly. It feels like it would rev a lot higher. It just keeps screaming to that red line. It's a shame they've capped it at 7,000, because stuff back in the day, when the old Type Rs, you were looking at way over 8,000 RPM for a little inline four. It was crazy. So obviously guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you give us a like and a subscribe. I'm sure we'll follow Matt on the journeys with this. If you haven't done so already, you can follow me on Instagram, you can follow Matt on Instagram, and you'll see countless cars that he's owned over the years that we've also reviewed. So thanks for watching guys, until next time. So that wraps up our Honda Civic Type R experience. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you want to see any more videos, including the Fiesta ST we took out recently and the North Coast 500 in the E46 M3, click here. Till next time, thanks for watching guys.